For any possible life goal, both monetary and personal, you could possibly have, there are always people that you have to convince about this. Today, we're going to be talking about the most important person that you're ever going to have to convince about your success. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, guys? Elman here today to talk about the only person that you really need to convince that you're going to be successful. So self-improvement is one of the finest human qualities out there, and it's one of the things that truly makes us human. People all throughout history have desired to improve themselves and get better at whatever they find themselves to be talented at. Some people like to go after more money, and some people like to get smarter, and some people have spiritual goals. Whatever it is, self-improvement is a big part of the human psyche in general. When you're trying to meet these goals, there are going to be obstacles. So there are physical obstacles if it's a sports goal or anything physical, obviously. There are mental obstacles, and that could be other people telling you, hey, you can't do it. That happens a lot, honestly. People will try to knock you down from getting your goals, and you have to have the mental strength to overcome those kinds of things happening. The beautiful thing about the age of information is that we no longer are limited by having to walk to the library and seek out the book on whatever we want to get better at, right? I mean, we can just go onto YouTube and look it up. For example, you're here listening to this video, so you can get better at meeting your goals in general, right? The one thing throughout history that hasn't really changed is the presence of mental obstacles, right? Other people are always going to be telling you, hey, you should be doing that differently, or you shouldn't be doing that at all. You should be trying something else, right? Now, although sometimes these can be helpful and they can be tools to help you succeed, a lot of times it's not. After a while, having people just say, hey, you need to be doing this differently, it can break you down. So today I'm going to offer the solution. If you can convince no one else, there is only one person in your life that you have to convince of your success, and nothing else that anyone can say will deter you from meeting your goal. Now, if you haven't guessed already, this one magical person that you have to convince about meeting your goal is you. So I would encourage you to just take a second to be introspective about this, right? When was the last time that you set your mind to something and you absolutely failed at it? Nothing really comes to mind. I mean, of course, there are going to be setbacks and things aren't going to turn out the way that you thought they would. But when was the last time that you committed yourself to something and it turned out to be worse than if you hadn't even started it off at all? Those are few and far between, right? I mean, obviously there's going to be a few regrets that we have throughout our life, but for the most part, if you commit yourself to something, some good will come of it. My tea's done, I think. There are many examples of this in my own life. For instance, my basketball career. I'm a pretty short guy, so I never really had much of a shot with going big with this, but I decided to commit some time and energy to getting better at basketball. Was I the star of the school? Absolutely not. But I did get to play, and I had a lot of different functions on the team. I would go between 5th and 8th man, depending on what was going on at the team at any given time and the pace of the game. Because I put in the work to developing myself as a half-decent player and being flexible to whatever challenges came my way, I was able to turn that experience into a success, even though many people may have given up or not seen it as a success the way that it turned out for me. Another example is my lawn care business that I started last summer. When I started it, it was kind of just a brainchild, but it grew to something that made me not that much money, and I ended up committing a decent amount of time to. What I realized later, though, was that I made an extra $1,500 to $2,000 that I would not have made if I hadn't convinced the one important person, myself, that I was running a lawn care business. That proof of concept to me was greater than any business success that I could have had in my first summer, because that knowledge is so valuable to me that all I had to do was convince myself and great things could happen. Of course, it's important to mention that you're going to have to evolve along the way. Just because you convince yourself that you're going to meet a goal doesn't mean you're not going to have to change the method or maybe even change how the goal itself looks at the end of the process. There's no problem taking outside feedback from people who are more experienced than you and modifying your goals along the way. But a lot of people will have destructive criticism, and those are the people that don't matter. All you have to do is take care of what is in your mind and in your spleen, in your mind and your heart. And if you put in the work, the fruit of your labors will be more than enough proof for those who doubted you in the first place. I hope that as you go along your journey to meet your goal, this video was helpful for you and was at least somewhat inspirational. If you did enjoy the video, maybe give the channel a subscribe so you can catch more of the content, as it will be coming out very soon. With that, though, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you over in the next one.